If you're gay, then you're gay. Don't pretend that you're straight. You could be who you are any day of the week.
Everybody's going to see cancer. Hashtag here for you.
Oh, that was so
horrible.
nice.
It's time to get the chains out. Is your tongue tied up? 'Cause this is our ground, and I'm dangerous, and you can get out. But it's all about me tonight. So you say I'm complicated, that I must be on my mind. You've had me underrated, rated. What's wrong with being? What's wrong with being? What's wrong with being confident? What's wrong with being? What's wrong with being? What's wrong with being confident? You say I'm complicated, but you've had me underrated.
So, that song is Confident by Demi Lovato off the album Confident Deluxe. Well, I have it off the Deluxe edition. So, in the last chapter of The Past Happens Now, so Virginity, nothing happened. Literally. I thought that there was going to be a sex scene, but sadly I was mistaken. Which really sucks, because this story has not had anything... It has nothing to do with sexual content, which I'm kind of really bummed about. Alright, so, here we go, last part. She nodded slowly and looked down. Carly, you're gonna find the perfect boy, I smiled at her gently. I promise. She smiled and pulled me into a hug. How'd you know I was still thinking about that? I tightened my arms around her in return. You're my sister, I said, smiling. Well, I hope I find him too. Maybe I've already met him. Who knows? She shrugged and pulled away from the hug. Alright, one more chapter after this, and go. Chapter 23. I want to take you somewhere. Jay's point of view. Carly, I'll be back in a little bit, I shouted up the stairwell. Where are you going? I jumped at a familiar female voice. I ran into the kitchen and saw my aunt standing there smiling at me. Why don't I get to know? I assumed Drake's house, but I'm just making sure. She tilted her head. Jay? I shook my head and threw myself into a hug with her. Sorry, I just missed you. I pulled away and smiled at her surprised mother figure standing in front of me. Well, no need to miss me now. I'm here, sweetheart. Going over to Drake's? Her young smile replenished in me. I nodded. You're okay, right? Carly said as she talked about the past 2 days. But I want to make sure. Your sister seems more like a mother to you than I do sometimes. I sighed lightly and leaned against the counter. No, it's okay. Really. I'm fine. Things are fine. I finished convincing her by giving her a smile, and then Carly came running down the hallway, nearly knocking into me. I'm coming with you. She giggled and I rolled my eyes. I knew exactly why she was coming, and it was exactly the reason why she had dressed up. No, I mean, she wasn't a gown or anything. She wore something similar to the outfit for the first day of school, something she'd only wear to impress someone. Our aunt raised her eyebrows, so I spoke up. Drake has a brother, they're friends. I nodded. Yes, obviously Carly likes him. But I wasn't about to embarrass her or say anything she didn't want to be said. She gave me a thanks for covering me smile. And we waved to her aunt and we walked out to the car. When we got there, no one responded to the door. Carly shrugged and opened the door. We stepped in and closed the door behind us. I thought the house was vacant at first, but a few seconds later I heard voices from upstairs. Carly's point of view. Drake greeted me and pulled Jay out of the house like he hadn't seen him in years. You couldn't wait to go somewhere, on the other hand. I was left with Aaron here. Drake said he would have come down to see me soon, but I felt like I was in the doctor's office at the point, so I decided to go upstairs. All the doors were open except for one, which I assumed was Aaron's. I slowly turned the knob and pushed the door open. Aaron was sitting up against one of the gray bedroom walls, somewhat slumped over with his hands digging into the carpet. I walked over and kneeled in front of him. Hey, baby, I said gently, lightly pushing dazed red hair from his face. He looked up slowly, his eyes glossed over. You didn't take any since last night, did you? He let out a sigh and shook his head. No, I didn't. Apparently Aaron was taking drugs, and I think Carly pulled him out of that, thank God. No, I didn't. His eyes were met with mine, her beautiful shade of blue. He shifted forward slightly, his eyes found the ground again. Hey, I said, squeezing his hand. I'm not gonna let you go back to taking them. I'm gonna help you through this, I promise. A slight smile hinted at his lips. I sat beside him and smiled. Now, what kind of movies do you like? His facial expression didn't change completely, but his lips were longing for a smile. What do you like? He asked. I like anything with a good plot. Also, I like you. So let's go see a movie, okay? I bit my lip in regret, but that feeling was soon replaced with complete joy, as a small smile grew across his face. Just let yourself take your mind off things. We stood up and walked downstairs, and he stopped me before we went to the car. He turned to me, and I could tell what he was about to say was taking out a lot of him because the way he was fidgeting around with his hands more than usual. I looked up at him and shook my head. Never mind. Drake's point of view. I swung the passenger door open for Jay, and he stood there with his arms crossed and a smile on his face. Rude much? You know how much energy I put into holding doors open. I grinned and he rolled his eyes. I want to take you somewhere this time. He smiled and set a hand on my back, guiding me into the passenger seat. I laughed and shook my head. When I slammed into the car, he sat there with a what the hell look on his face. What? I giggled at his expression. He bent down slightly, lifting a bag of candy off the floor and laughed. When do you plan on eating all of this? Right here, right now. I gave him 2 thumbs up and reached into the bag. I began digging through it. Hey, Drake. I looked up. He had that tone in his voice like every other time I bit my lip, knowing what the question was going to be, and I couldn't escape it. I couldn't lie to Jay about anything. But I didn't want him to know. I didn't want him to know I messed up. I didn't want to risk losing him because I tell him he'll realize I'm not pure and I'm not innocent and beautiful as he is. I will never be. This was the only thing I didn't want people knowing about me, my main regret, although I had many. Like, not trying to help my mom when she was dealing with my dad, not forgiving my dad sooner for what he did of fighting with Aaron, leaving Jay. I let out a small sigh. I meant to do it quietly, but it came out louder than I expected. Jay looked over at me. I set the bag of candy down at my feet and Jay's hand. I'm sorry, I said. He tilted his head and gave me a serious look and asked me to continue through my thoughts, so I just did. I'm sorry, I'm not a virgin. Jay leaned over and took my other hand. I already knew you weren't, and it's okay. I love you just the same. He was so sweet. But Jay, I messed up so badly. I shook my head and frowned. You regret it, don't you? His eyes met mine and I nodded. Yeah, I do. Well, you shouldn't. It's okay, I looked down at him. He was crazy. And the serious expression on his face didn't flee until I poked his stomach. He yelled, Drake, I have to drive. Can I take you later, please? I clasped my hands together and jutted my lower lip out. He laughed. Okay, fine, for 1 minute, and that's it. As he pulled out of the driveway, I dug into the candy bag at my feet. What if I gave you gummy bears? I know you like those, I grinned and held up the bag. I smiled and rolled my eyes. We'll see. I think he noticed my quietness after that, and then he was reading my mind to reassure that it was okay, it being the fact that I wasn't pure. I nodded and leaned back in my seat, staring at Jay. He was cute when he was driving, the kind of cute that makes me want to grab him and kiss him. His small hands wrapped around the wheel, and the way the sunlight touched his perfect skin and left his eyes gleaming and slightly squinting. His round nose angles up enough just to be cute, and his pink lips that separate when he smiles to show the delicate white teeth. I am a professional creeper. Eventually we got to a red light and he glanced over at me and was like, were you... Yes, I was staring at you, I blurted. No, I never stare at you. It's not like you're the cutest guy in the world or anything. That's actually a chapter. That is chapter 4, so that line is from chapter 4. He smiled at my reference to a couple months ago in the dorm, and I smiled because he reacted the same way he had that long time ago by blushing. Erin's point of view. She drove us to the theater. I couldn't help but focus all my attention inside the car, where she was. Her light brown hair touching her shoulder softly. I wanted to reach out and touch it. We small talked in random subjects on the way there. They were short, random conversations, but possibly the most I've been able to talk to someone normally for a long time. If you set aside the fluttering of my heart when she laughs, and the constant battle of choice of words, talking to her is the easiest thing I've done in a couple of years. We went out on a whim and chose a movie neither of us had seen or heard of. I couldn't remember the last time I saw a movie. I couldn't remember much of any part of the past few years, besides the thing I've been trying to escape from. But right now, sitting with her in the theater, she was my escape. But an escape that would help me not need to escape anymore. She was helping me take those bad things away. So was Jay and Drake and my dad, because I was letting them in. That's what Drake was trying to get me to do from the start. I wish I hadn't pushed him away so soon. I wanted to tell him that before he left with Jay. I'm not so good with words. I think I'm just really freaked out. I freaked out Jay that night at my words, and he looked at me with a crackhead. I guess I'm not that different from a crackhead. That kid is too nice. I didn't deserve him or to treat me so well. If you guys don't want to watch the movie, I jumped slightly and I stared at her with a whisper in the ear. We can do something else. I shook my head. You sure? I nodded. Everyone is too nice to me. Sometimes it was too much to handle, but not with her. I took her hand timely, and she smiled. When I saw her smile, I couldn't keep it in anymore. She was so beautiful, and her hair was tucked behind her ear, allowing her face to be completely visible. Her eyes were perfect, warm hazel, with her skin a perfect shade of tan. Everything about her was comforting, especially the way she made me feel important and love me. I'm not some stubborn asshole that doesn't want actually to deal with any problems thrown onto me. Maybe we should just go. She lifted in her seat, and I shook my head quietly. I'm sorry, I was just thinking. The fingers on my hand that wasn't being held her bounce up and down, fast, non-stop. She raised her eyebrow, lightly smiling warmly at me. She let out a giggle, and I couldn't hold it back any longer. I parted my lips, seeming to tell her what was on my mind, just as she leaned in and kissed me. I squeezed her hand and kissed her back. In this instant, I was okay with not being able to speak, because at least she knew how I felt. And for now, that was enough. So, that was the end of chapter 23. So, tomorrow we are doing chapter 4 and the finale. Click here if you... Click here because I need you. So, technically, tomorrow is the last chapter, and I think there is a spin-off. I don't think we'll read the spin-off because I already have another book. But maybe after we do New Beginnings, maybe we could do the spin-off. I don't know. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. And until next time, gays, okay? Just ask the GSA. Mwah!